Right, so this is Serial episode 5 and 6 that I've listened to. And honestly, they talked about so much. It's honestly so much to unpack. And I'm kind of like confused. I'm not really confused. It's just, it was a whole lot that they said. But basically, to narrow everything down, the same thing that was discovered in the first thing was the fact that the only physical evidence they had against Anon was the physical incriminating evidence was the palm print that was found on the map in Hayes' car. And I wrote some notes down because it was just literally so much going on. That's why I'm looking over here and not at the camera. But so at the beginning they basically talked about how they introduced somebody else. His name was Jawan, and he was somebody that would get high with Anon, and they would get high at Best Buy, and it was uncovered that they would get high at Best Buy because Anon said that was the place that him and Hay would go to have sexual encounters or whatever, and nobody would really be looking out there. So that's where they would go to smoke weed. And then basically they was uncovering how the time difference between how long it would take for Anon to get from practice to Best Buy, from Best Buy to what exactly? Hold on, let me see. From Best Buy and where, the garage or something like that. Let me see. Yeah, basically, yeah. And they said that from Best Buy they left from Belmont. So the lady and her friend actually went out and did all of the driving, and it was uncovered that it was kind of nearly impossible for the strangulation to happen without these different stops, because according to Anon, the amount of time it would have taken him to get to Best Buy wouldn't have been enough time for him to get there and kill her, especially at the time they said that he killed her, which was at 2:36. So the girl and her friend, they basically recreated the day that Jay said happened. So they went from the school, then went to Best Buy, and then from Best Buy they went to Belmont, which is where they left Hayes' car at. And another thing that I wrote in my notes was questionable to me is that Jay said that when they got to Best Buy, he basically went through the trunk and kind of fiddled through the trunk to get some stuff out of it or whatever. And that was kind of questionable to me because it doesn't make sense to do all of that with a dead body in the back. I don't know. I already feel like Jay is questionable. Honestly, he's so descriptive, and a lot of the stuff he's saying is aligning. The spine of his story is aligning, because he basically said that what did I put in here? I mean, the spine of his story is consistent to me, because he has not, although he has admitted to lying, the only thing to me that's believable that he has stuck with is the fact that he said that Anon told him what he was going to do. He killed her, and they ditched the car. Those three elements of the story has not changed from Jay, and that's probably the only consistent thing that I probably do believe of him. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I wonder if Jay's saying all of this because he's actually the perpetrator. He's actually the person that did all of this. I don't know. I could be wrong, but as this week's progress, it's definitely going to be uncovered. A lot of the timeline with Jay is not really aligning, especially because they do have cell phone towers. So that's really iffy. And it was just so much that they said in the video that I really could not ascertain the information, honestly. But I do know, like, in court, because it was up in the air, they did try to get that thrown out and ask for a mistrial, but of course that did not happen. A lady named Kathy was she's a new character in the story now, and supposedly Kathy is a friend that I think maybe Kathy been mentioned. But Kathy they kind of went into more detail about Kathy, how Jay and Anon went to Kathy's house to smoke weed, and Kathy felt like Anon's mannerisms and everything about him was just kind of off that day when they went to Kathy's house. And supposedly Kathy is not friends with Anon. Her boyfriend is friends with Jay. And the crazy part about another thing that really struck me is that I just don't feel like the defense did their due diligence. It's a man named Will that was uncovered. Supposedly, he had seen Will at practice. No, supposedly Will had seen him at practice. And the fact that they didn't do their due diligence in checking to see if that was actually true or not, I kind of feel like the system failed him there too, because, like, due process, like, everything's supposed to be fair, but that wasn't done either. I don't know if that was a court's shortcomings or was it his defense team shortcomings, but either way, I feel like they didn't do their due diligence at all. This is the second time I felt like he didn't really get a fair shot, because even with the what's her name, Asia McClain thing, they did not go in depth with that, about how he had an alibi at the library. They didn't try to go. That was kind of thrown out. I mean, she wrote an affidavit, but they didn't really, like, take that into consideration for real. Because technically an affidavit is kind of a testimony, because, like, you're getting what she's saying. Like, she's saying, like, what she knows. And I feel like that's the same thing about Jay. Like, y'all are basically going based off what he's saying. And y'all have no hardcore evidence behind what he's saying at all. The only incriminating physical evidence y'all have against Anon is a palm print that was on a map in Hayes' car, which to me is not out of the norm if they were talking, dating. Like, it just makes sense, you know? I'm sure his fingerprints should have been everywhere else in the car. I don't know. The timeline just was not adding up. I don't know. What really bothered me at the end of episode 6 was when the lady that's doing the covering of this paper, of this story, she's just like, you know, Anon, I feel like I know you pretty well, you know. And he's just like, you know me well. Like, huh? Like, he was kind of, honestly, I was just like, I don't know if that was, to me, made me, like, raise an eyebrow a little bit. Because I'm just like, that's a good thing, Anon. But it's the fact that he was kind of, like, taken aback by that. Like, you know me. And to me, if I was her, I'd be like, what don't I know about you? Why are you so offended that I'm saying that I kind of know you? And I'm actually saying that you're a good person. That I feel like you are a good person. I don't know. So I'm just like, Anon, is there something we don't know? Anon seems to be very polished. Like, he's articulate. I mean, he's able to express himself. It seems as though he's too comfortable with the situation. But I mean, he's been in there so long. How could he be comfortable? It's not like no one has been helping him trying to get out of there. So it's like, I guess he has to come to terms with what has happened and just accept things for what it is. But it's just like, dang, he's almost too grounded in it. Because for somebody that didn't do it, I would still be angry. Like, I would still be upset. I would not be making sense of everything. I just wouldn't be. That's just me, though. Oh, I know it's different from when you're in that situation, but any other notes that I put down? I wonder, I can't even switch. But I wrote down a whole lot of notes. I actually saved my stuff because I listened through it throughout the day, just so I can have it fresh on my brain. And somehow I still yet to forget some things. Apparently Anon was a weed head, so is Jay. That's unfortunate because... Get down, Sasha. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on these 2 episodes. And I can't wait to watch the next ones tomorrow.